Designer note subject 64. In 1997, the world headlines would read that a computer beat a chess grandmaster, NASA landed on Mars, and the Titanic sank for the second time on the silver screen. While Leo is proudly proclaiming who has dominion of the world and the box office, this was also the last time that the Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch received an update. Today, change was proclaimed, and the Moonwatch received an update, and boy, they are aplenty. Like, comment, and subscribe for content you'd like to see next. Follow us at Instagram at DesignAtelier for behind the scenes content. Email us at designatelierviewer@gmail.com. Let's begin with the things that didn't change. The cage diameter is still the same at 42mm with a 47mm lug-to-lug span. At 20mm, the lug width also remained the same. We still have two flagship models to choose from, the Hesalite and the Sapphire models. The Sapphire version is slightly thinner at 13.18mm, while the Hesalite is 13.58. The Hesalite models will have a closed caseback, which differs from the previous generation in text. There is now the addition of the master chronometer rating for the movement. The caseback message was reworded to say flight qualified by NASA in 1965. That somewhat corrects the Moonwatch's current qualifications since there is no space program to qualify it anyway. At the dial side, the first thing that we will notice is that it now has a step dial layout. Speedmasters used to have these step dials until 1974, and now it's back in this new Moonwatch. The Speedmaster and Professional texts are now in the same width. Compare this to the older models, we have a tapering design for both the text and logo. Notice too that the logo is smaller. The minute tracks are now split into 3s instead of 5s. We will also notice some changes in the seconds hand. The counterweight now is a different shape, which is more noticeably a teardrop profile compared to the straight triangular counterweights of the previous generation. There are further differences between the Hesalite and Sapphire versions. The Hesalite version has the Omega logo etched in the middle of the crystal. This has long been a signature of the Speedmaster Professional watches. This logo etching is missing at the Sapphire version. What is in the Sapphire version is an applied logo. This can be a divisive decision for Omega and Omega fans. For those who want the traditional Speedmaster configuration, they would have to settle with the Hesalite version. And for those who want the applied logo, they will have to buy the Sapphire model. The Hesalite model will feature a solid caseback, while the Sapphire version features a sapphire display. Both the Hesalite and Sapphire crystals are boxed. Noticeable too that there's no printing of the master chronometer in any of the dials in any of these new Speedmasters. Speaking of printing, there are noticeable homages on the bezel. The bezel has the dot over 90 configuration as well as the dot diagonal to 70. This bezel insert is still made out of anodized aluminum. One of the biggest changes that is noticeable comes from the bracelet. This bracelet tapers from 20mm from the lugs to 15mm to the clasp. The steel bracelet is new with smaller rounded links compared to the previous generation's bracelet. This new bracelet is closer in profile to the 1479 bracelets. These were used in older Speedmasters, including the Speedmaster Mark II back in 1969. It's significantly more comfortable to use, and we can expect the same in this new Speedmasters. The clasp appears to be redesigned and shorter than the previous models. It also has these thick lines that runs from across the clasp. The logo is also polished along with the pushers from the sides. For those who are keen to choosing between the Hesalite and Sapphire versions, between these two models there is a difference in bracelet finish. The Sapphire models have polished center links compared to the satin finish of the Hesalite versions. The strap options are different as well. For the Hesalite, we have a fabric strap, a calfskin for the Sapphire version, and a more luxurious alligator strap for the gold models. The largest technical leap comes from the 3861 movement that now replaces the 1861 and 1863 calibers. Both the 1861 and 1863 models are still available in the website. All the Speedy Pro chronometers will have the 3861 movement, unlike the 1861 that's being used on closed casebacks, while 1863 on Sapphire models of the previous generation. This new caliber comprises of 50% new parts from the 1861. It features a coaxial escapement that fully takes advantage of less friction that's present on the regular escapements. This movement is META certified, which is 0 to 5 seconds in deviation per day on average. It is also 15,000 Gauss anti-magnetic, clocking in at 50 hours in power reserve. Rounding out the features is a hacking mechanism. The movement is beautifully decorated with Geneva waves that's showcased under this sapphire display caseback. This movement already exists in other Speedmasters, notably the Apollo 50th anniversary, the Moonshine, and the Silver Snoopy. So far, these Moonwatches will have two sublines. The Moonwatch Professional 42mm, which is the previous generation, and the Moonwatch Professional 42mm Master Co-axial Chronometer, which are the new ones that were released today. Two other special models are done in gold. The first one is done in Sedna gold, while the other one is made out of Conopus gold, which is a proprietary white gold mixture from Omega. The current pricing for the Hesalite version is $6,300, while the Sapphire versions would retail at $7,100. The Sedna Gold version will be available for $34,800, while the Canopus version is available for $45,000. Omega opened the year by claiming the news cycles with updates that fans have been looking for and options for both the modern enthusiast and the retro-inspired. In total, there is now 12 Speedmaster Professionals available to choose from, spanning a diverse price range. Which one is your Moonwatch? No matter what you choose, Omega sure can proudly say it's the king of the world. At least maybe for this week.